Good morning, everyone. Warm welcome to the another edition of CA Speakers Forum today. My deep gratitude to each one of you, and I acknowledge and warmly welcome our speaker of the day, CA Chidambaram Narayanan. When it comes to internal audit, it's not easy. And I think there would be many who would agree to this statement that internal audit is not an easy task. And when it comes to my experiences with internal audit, I was that privileged one who got the opportunity to start my major assignment with the internal audit. And that was not when I qualified as a chartered accountant, that was when I was in my articleship. Though there were a couple of small things which my principal had asked me to do, which I did, but majorly where my major time went, that was in an internal audit assignment, and that was in a golf club, in a golf association in a beautiful city called Chandigarh. And it was my articleship experience. I was very new to the profession, though I had completed my intermediate by that point of time when I started my articleship. But the practical experience was new for me. And when you are in a golf club, the one thing which interests you to see that how many celebrity golfers have come there. And Chandigarh is a city which has given many golfers to our country who have represented our country at a national level in the tournaments and have made us proud. So that experience was good. And later on, as I have spent 18 plus years in the profession, here and there, I have got involved with the internal auditors, not exactly doing an internal audit. And I know that to create value in the internal audit is an extremely difficult task. But today, that task will be made easy. Will be made easy because we have someone, I can easily say, that internal audit runs in his blood. And the person in whose blood the internal audit runs, he is CA Chidambaram Narayanan, and he is an internal audit professional who has spent decades in providing excellence, in providing great value, and who has been so encouraged to do great things, to provide value to each one of us through the books he has written, through the articles he shares, through the initiatives he participates into. And that is what is required from a professional. And C. H. Chidambaram Narayanan is, is a person of a great integrity. He is a person who can make you laugh. He is a person who can get you involved in the subject. And we could not have better person than him to do this session when we have done numerous sessions on taxation. And this is, I think, the first time we are doing a session on the internal audit. And thank you so much, Chidambaram, for agreeing on these holidays time to be the speaker for a topic which is very much of which is of interest to our audience and to the participants here, and which requires a lot of attention considering what we see happening, where the progress happens quickly, where the regulations are changing quickly, where the world sometimes has though become global, but there would be challenges in one of the very important thing, which is the supply chain, and the technology, which is very fast changing. So before I hand over to you, Chidambaram, I would like you to give your opening remarks in 2 minutes, and then we will go ahead with your session. Over to you.
Thank you, Prab. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. It's really a privilege because Prabhdeep has been doing this for I don't know, years now, and he's been very encouraging to a lot of people. In fact, I got inspired a lot from the way he interacts with people, his networking capabilities, and he does everything. You have job opportunities, you have speaker opportunities. He interacts with almost. In fact, I had the opportunity to meet him in person also once he had come to Muscat, and we met in person. I have a very fond memory of that particular incident. It was at a CA conference in Muscat. So today's, the forum is all about internal audit, and this is internal audit month. So it is very appropriate. Of course, it's going to end by tomorrow, but I felt it was more appropriate that, as an internal auditor, I got an opportunity to speak during the internal audit month. So it felt very, very, relevant for, and whatever is going on around us, within us, and which are going to come to for us. It's all that's what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm sure all of you are going to be. I will try my best to make it as interactive as possible. It's not really. I know we're going to have some people just listening in or watching in from YouTube. Some people are going to be online with us on the Zoom call. So I have a quick activity which we're going to start with. So we all be ready for that.
Yeah, Chidambaram, right.
So if you can just pull up the screen, the presentation.
Yeah, I will. But before that, there is one important task which I have to do, and that is to get you a very warm welcome. And I request all present here to please use your emojis, your love, thumbs up, the clap, and let us welcome Chidambaram with a thundering round of applause. Thank you so much for all the love. And now, Chidambaram, I will share the screen, and then we are good to go. The screen will be all yours. You give me your command, and I will. This is whole screen has come?
Yes, the screen has come.
Yeah, okay. Is it fine, right?
Yeah, this is all right.
Okay, fine, thank you.
You can move to the next screen if you don't, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
The next, please.
Yeah.
So my topic today is all about how internal audit leads or should lead in the age of disruption. See, of course, we cannot deny it anymore. We are in the age of disruption. It's all about things which are happening around us. As an organization, as an internal audit professional, what do we do? I got into this profession by accident, maybe 20 years ago. I was in a finance position, and I got an opportunity to become an internal auditor, and I haven't looked back since. And I strongly believe the internal audit profession is all about being honest, being independent, and having to ask those questions, having that curiosity cap within ourselves, and bringing that curiosity to add value to the organization ultimately. See, we are there to, in a way, we are protecting people, we are protecting employees, we are protecting the interest of the organization and the community at large, customers, from an overall perspective, from a risk perspective, from a controls perspective. That's what we do. And that is what every one of us as an internal auditor professional, we should look at ourselves to become that person. But unfortunately, the world which we are living in is keeping on changing almost every second. And how do we meet that change as an internal audit professional, as a person who is facing all of those challenges every day? How do we anticipate that? How do we look at it from, do we look at it from our existing perspective, or should we look at it from a new lens? That's the whole idea. See, my speech, you can say it is not more a speech of, I want to infuse that thought inside you, or spark those inspiration or motivation inside you. More of a conversational idea, more than, it's not going to be a teaching. That's not going to be one way that I'm going to tell you something and you're going to follow that. you can always pitch in your own ideas of how you are able to do it and how you have been able to counter these disruptions in your own way. We can always have that interaction. Okay, so just moving on, let's move on to the next slide, please. Yeah, so let's start with a small activity. The activity is simple. Okay, the timer is already started, but the rules are very simple. You have to match the same colored dots, like green to green, red to red, and blue to blue, without it intersecting. And you have 60 seconds. The timer is already gone, but probably we can reset the timer. We can keep it outside the timer also, no issues. So I'll give you about 60 seconds. Anybody who can come up with a solution can always tell me, probably in the chat, or you can put a direct message on to me. Prab, you can also try this. Feel free. Hey, no, show the answer. Go back.
Okay.
Just hold on to this slide, please.
Yeah.
Don't reveal the answer, Prab.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Sir, can the full screen be shown because it is coming in 50-50?
Prab, can you put a spotlight on the screen?
Yeah, okay. Let me share again, yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat what is to be done here?
The idea is that there is a circle. Inside that there are 6 dots. So you will have to match the right dots, means the red one with the red one. You have to draw a line, only solid lines, no dotted lines or anything. You don't use your auditor, other side of the auditor's brain. You will have to use solid lines only. Lines cannot intersect. And lines must stay within the circle. These are the 3 rules. That's it. Only 3 rules. And if you have identified it, don't reveal the answer.
Horizontally, we can connect with each other. It means blue and red line.
No, blue to blue, red to red, and green to green.
Yes, blue to blue and red to red. And then from green to green, we will take a little bit, we'll have to go by curve. Then only we can,
No, it should not intersect. That's the whole idea. There should not be intersection between the lines, within the lines.
It is not intersecting with each other.
Yeah.
Just take one single line from red to red.
Yeah, somebody is trying it desperately. See how they come up.
This is the way, yes, we connect with each other.
Somebody is saying we had it in CA final. I didn't have this in my CA final exam. Sorry. You must have written a different set altogether. I think there's an aptitude test probably for you. All right, so that is the right answer. Let's see the answer slide, please. You can go to the next one.
Yeah.
Somebody has already drawn it for us. This is the answer, how it works. If you can remove the lines, it will be nice, please. Prab, if you can clear the screen.
Yeah. Just a moment. I need to check.
So the idea behind having this small activity is that we are forced to think from a traditional method and look at something which is out of the box. That's the idea behind having that. If you can just please remove the yeah. So question is, when did you as an internal auditor last surprise the board? I mean, don't answer that. I mean, it's just a rhetorical question, but understand that the board expects us to be something more. They're expecting us to be an interesting person in the room. They're not looking for just updates. They're not looking for just an audit plan anymore. They are looking for something like we being like a weather forecast. What's going to happen? What's happening? That's what probably is what I guess the board is thinking beyond. So we are no longer within the same dotted lines in which we are working in. we have to move towards that traditional definition of whatever has been defined for us or what we have defined for ourselves. And this is what we are going to talk about in the course of the next probably 40 to 50 minutes. Okay. The idea behind putting this together is that we are facing all of those things every single day. So can we look at the next slide, please? Right. Now, technology. When ChatGPT came in November 2022, I think the date was November 30th, 2022, if I remember, OpenAI released it. Within 5 days, 1 million users. Within 2 months, 60 days, 100 million users of ChatGPT. That was the largest and the fastest we have seen in for any social media platform that we have seen over the last probably so many years. Comparison of 1 million users, ChatGPT took 5 days, Netflix took 3.5 years, Kickstarter took another years and years. The closest that we had was Instagram, which was about 2.5 months, 3 months. Okay, so overnight, everything changed. Your risk universe has changed. Your AI was, everybody was using AI. It became common man's tool, ChatGPT. Customer service, finance, HR, housewife, student. My daughter used to use ChatGPT and she's probably still using ChatGPT for even her schoolwork. So people, can we go to the next slide?
Yeah.
So the speed of change has completely changed. It has broken your audit plan. Your audit plan usually probably is, let's say at the beginning of the year, you put up an audit plan and probably in 60 days, you are just 2 months into the audit plan, you have done a couple of audits, that's it. But imagine the way things are changing, the force of technology and AI, which has already gone into the business. Gen AI has taken over everything. As early as 2023, 49%, according to a McKinsey survey, 49% of people were already using AI tools. And the best part is the employees didn't even know about it. And there was no policy, there was no governance, there was no audit coverage. Obviously, without anything else, where is the audit? So people are simply using all of these tools for multiple purposes. They are putting, even today, probably some of the companies have blocked out all of these AI tools or restricted the usage of these things. And they're controlling probably. But 3 years, 4 years before, when ChatGPT and all these tools were just around coming into the picture, everybody was using them. And they were using them, even people who didn't know English, people who didn't probably have the best of the languages, they used it for drafting reports. They used to put all this confidential data onto that. We used to have algorithmic decisions. The whole world has changed towards that. People's resumes are tracked through that. Right? We are having people whose credit scores are being rated through AI tools. Fraud is getting detected using AI tools. Almost everything that we see around us is AI driven. Then, of course, we have the dark side of AI, which is deep fake, synthetic fraud. People are using, we have seen CFO's voice is being, or somebody is coming to look like the CFO on screen, and it is actually AI generated video. And they're saying, pass on your so much of amount in a very short span of time to this account. And, it's probably an offshore account, and then they're siphoning off the money. Or a child is talking on the phone. Somebody is talking, but it's not the real child. The child is in peril. All of these things we are seeing. CFOs, sorry to say this, are being misled. Auditors are being misled. C-suite, the executives are all, anybody's access is getting now deep faked. You can become anyone on the internet. Back in the day, when I started my early days of the internet, there used to be a very famous quote. On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. I mean, what it means that you can be anyone on the internet. So imagine when internet was there, that was the case. Now with AI, we have gone even a step further. Right? Can we go to the next slide, please? If that was not enough, can you just move to the next?
Yes, it's
so
trying
that was not enough.
Trying it, it's not moving. Just a moment.
Okay. All right. While it's loading, if
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
not enough, then the force two is the geopolitical situation which we are in. We have Russia, Ukraine happening all around us. It's still happening. US, Israel, Iran, I don't know when it is going to end. We have energy, logistics, banking, things which are happening, which are disrupting us all around us, at least people who are there in the Gulf. And many people who are in India also are getting impacted across the world. The whole world is suffering. US-China trade war is happening. Semiconductor prices are going up like crazy, right? So all of these things are impacting us. And as an audit function, are we the first to know or are we the last? Right? Let us think about it. Where are we on all of these things? Right? Let's move on to the next. The next is on ESG. Now, gone are the days when ESG used to be just some PR gimmick. In 2023, PwC did a survey and found out that 87% of investors saying that ESG information is basically that is the primary consideration for their investment decision itself. That was back in 2023. Now imagine where are we now? Today, ESG is a board liability. There are more regulations which have come in, right? So it has also become a criminal offense. If you are doing greenwashing or just doing something for the sake of doing and then doing some fraudulent activities behind that. The EU's Corporate Sustainability Report Directive or CSRD has become mandatory. It is mandating that verified sustainability disclosures are mandatory for many companies across the world. Directors are held personally responsible. Investors are demanding assurance. So as auditors, we need to upskill ourselves on all of these areas. We need to map our ESG data flows. We need to challenge our management assertions on where we are on net zero, on all of these concepts which we are supposed to be following, which we are claiming to be following, and are we doing that? We have to assess our third-party ESG risk. It's not only us. We are responsible for people who are supplying to us as well. We have to verify what they are doing. Are they following what they're supposed to do? Are they following the basic principles behind ESG? Are they being compliant? And obviously, we all need to upskill ourselves. Are we sure that we know everything about what there is about ESG? Are we getting into that domain at all? So this is something which we need to step into as auditors. So again, this is another area which as auditors we need to look at. So this is the third dimension. So as if 3 dimensions are not enough, let's go for the 4th dimension. This is the next slide. The 4th dimension is that data explosion. We are drowning in data. Okay. Astonishingly, 90% of the world's data was created only in the last 2 years. Just the last 2 years, 90% of our data. Imagine that. We are, every second, we are creating billions of data. So where are we on all of these things? Are we analyzing? Are we taking decisions based on that? We have an opportunity here. We can leverage the data. We can do continuous monitoring. We can do anomaly detection. We can do predictive risk. We can do many, many things. Of course, what will you tell me? You will tell me you are lacking with resources. You don't have sufficient people. You don't have sufficient budget. Agreed. All of those things are agreed. But the bottom line still remains. If you all can go to the next slide, please. The question remains that despite all of these circumstances in which we are living in, AI disruption, geopolitical shock, ESG mandates, data explosion, shock after shock after shock is coming every single day. The world has changed. But has your audit plan changed? The audit plan, unfortunately, if you can go to the next slide, it is a very unfortunate circumstance or an inconvenient truth which we are living in, that 85%, again, this is not what I am telling, this is based on a survey taken by McKinsey. that 85% of internal audit functions are not prepared for digital disruption. We are not ready. I have been in audit committee meetings. I have watched ourselves as audit department presenting findings, really good findings, thorough findings. And the board chairman, audit committee chairman is just nodding politely. He has already got disengaged. He has not expected what we are telling him to say. He is expecting probably something else. Yeah, yes, of course, what you are saying is right. Whatever you are telling is all accepted. But are we giving that value in terms of what is happening around us? Are we doing that? Let's go to the next slide. Now, from an Indian perspective, the auditor's perspective, there are multiple regulatory pressures all around us. SEBI, we have MCA, we have NFRA, we have multiple things which are running around us all the time. Regulatory pressures are going to be there only more. There is pressure from 360 degrees of probably not even 360 degrees, whatever, even more. Multiple people are putting pressure on us at the same time. The pressure points are not going to go away. This is the business reality. This is the way in which we are working. We have thin audit teams. We don't have the leverage of a typical audit team is about 3 to 5 people, and we are covering everything. You have to prioritize, or we all just walk away. We just drop everything and go away. And we are in an explosion. Digital India. India is growing. There is no question about Gen Z. Indian Gen Z is far, far more outweighing, and outliving the way in which we have lived. When I used to be, I'm a 90s kid, early 80s kid. The way I grew up without probably very limited technologies, all of those things are gone. Everybody has access to everything. Knowledge is everywhere. It is proliferating everywhere across the world. So where are we as auditors? The pressure is not going to go away. This is from only Indian side. Let's go to the next, which is all about the Gulf landscape. We have UAE Vision 2031. We have Saudi Vision 2030. We have Oman Vision 2040. We are in the world where family businesses are running, at least in the Gulf. We have seen family conglomerates are restructuring. Some of them are even going for IPOs. They are going public. Then IAA, which was working with the private space, is now suddenly thrown out in the open. Are we gearing up for that? The transformation is happening at the speed of, you cannot imagine the speed at which it's going. The VAT regime, the tax regime, right? VAT has already been implemented in Oman, UAE, and some parts of Saudi also has implemented a tax. Personal taxation is going to come. You have cyber. In fact, just about a month or so ago, this Oman government has launched an AI governance policy, national level AI governance policy. People are moving towards the next level. Are we as auditors moving towards that? So instead of thinking about that as forces which are working against us, if you can go to the next slide, I'll think of it as an opportunity. These are opportunities which we have to monitor, right? If you can go to the next slide, please. So these are not just the trends which you are looking at. Are we auditing our algorithms, or are we just looking at it from a third-party point of view, just a user? Are we looking at threats? Are we gearing towards those threats? Are the rules changing faster than our audit pen? Obviously, it has to be like that, because we are not changing to the times. This is what I feel personally. I mean, of course, you may be in a different place altogether. If you are, please do share your success story. We'll all be good to know that. But then the idea behind having this conversation is to bring or open your eyes to the reality in which we are living in. So we are the only function as an internal audit with a mandate to look everywhere. We have the 360-degree camera with us. We are that camera. We answer to no one inside the business. That's the beauty of being independent. And above everything, we are there to tell the truth. But are we telling the truth to our board? Are we telling that all of these truths? Are we keeping that radar? Are we keeping that weather vane, which is telling us where we are, to our crowd or to our board, to our audit committee? Are we doing that? That's the question we should ask ourselves first. And when we ask ourselves that question, we think of it as a superpower. I mean, that's our superpower. Prabh, if you can just click a couple of times, please. Yes, one more time. Yeah. So that's our superpower. We are auditors. We have that inherent power within us to carry that. We can, carry that flag of truth, and we can tell everybody that we are whom we are. We are telling them that we are reviewing all of these things. We have had the privilege of understanding the implications, the risks involved, and we carry that out and we present it to our board. But are we doing that? Today, are we able to do that is what we have to ask ourselves. First of all, are we having the capability within ourselves? We may be having, we may not be having. That understanding of ourselves is what we need to do. If you all can move to the next slide, Prabh, please. So we are working with the same mandate. Nothing has changed. Our purpose of internal audit has not changed. But how are we delivering that? That is changing. Back then, our audit plan used to be locked in January, and we used to go with the same audit plan throughout the year. We used to have backward-looking findings. We used to issue 40+ page reports. Tell me a person here who issues no less than 20-25 pages per report. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I issue big reports. Everybody loves to issue big reports. We feel like back in the days, when we used to write exams, the number of pages for which we write exams, we always felt that the number of marks will be proportionate to that. The more we write, the more we'll get marks. Not really. Nobody reads those kind of reports anymore. Sorry, the attention span of people is so bad. We are moving away from that. We are no longer a tick box compliance mindset. We are not going to be having that anymore. And heck, we should not be the last to know about real risks in the world. What is expected from us, or probably what we should look to move towards, is to have a continuous dynamic risk assessment, a forward-looking insight, real-time dashboards, and to be a trusted advisor. Richard Chambers, who was the past president and CEO of the Institute of Internal Auditors in the US, wrote a book about the internal audit profession called it The Trusted Advisors. So at the board table, first of all, are we getting a seat? If we are getting a seat, are we giving the right advice? Are we trusted to give that advice? And are we the first to flag whatever is going to come or what is in store for us? This is the question again, gentlemen. We are asking ourselves repeatedly. I know I'm giving you a lot of gyan probably, but I'm also going to give you a probable roadmap which you can use. Let's move to the next slide. If you all can, if you can, yeah. So we are in 3 stages or 4 stages, I can say, as auditors. We are compliance reporters. Probably that's where we are. Most of us are there today. We find deficiencies, we write reports. We love to present it to the management in the way we speak. It's our language, it's our words. It's not the language which the board wants or the business likes. Every time and again, I hear this from every single, whoever I speak to from the business. They say, you don't know our business, you don't know our language, you don't speak our language. So can we move towards that? So probably it is in 3 to 4 stages. First is where we move from compliance reporter to become a risk assessor. From a risk assessor, we provide insights. And from insights, we derive the wisdom and we provide foresight, or what we call as the trusted advisor level. This is where we bring that intelligence and not just give findings left and right, give a 40-page report without understanding what the implications are. Of course, we are talking it from our perspective. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. But we need to go from audit speak to business speak, to board speak. And how do we do that? I mean, yes, it's very easy to say all of these things and I'll just walk away saying tomorrow you can all become board speakers. How do we do that? So that's what we're going to talk about in the next slide. If you can just move to the next slide, please. Yes. So 3 things that will help to make a huge difference. And this is what probably high performance audit functions are doing differently from what we are doing. I mean, I'm still putting myself in the reporter area because I honestly need to move towards that. This is what I felt for myself. So everybody will follow suit. Now, anticipate. Now, anticipate is the first phase. We need to think ahead and not behind. You know, people always say you are postmortem guys, you are history readers. One guy told me you are like a Indiana Jones. You are a historian. You are just looking at archaeology. You are reading into things which have already happened, and you are giving me a postmortem report. Can we move towards that from there to an anticipatory situation where we update our risk assessment on a regular basis? We have radars. Yeah, see, I know a lot of people are might be saying, how will I do all of this when I'm still fighting for a budget? When I'm still fighting for people on my team, I don't even have sufficient team. I don't even have a head count. I'm not even called to these right tables in the board meeting. How will I even reach this place? Don't start there. If you're not going to talk about things, if you are going to start anticipating, then only you can move towards the place where you want to become. Right? So start with that risk assessment. Put AI, ESG, cyber, and whatever we spoke about, start to look at it from a simple angle. Not everything can be done overnight. Rome was not built overnight, of course. So at least anticipate. Second is elevate. You find so many things, right? If you are not replacing your risk assessment over time and modifying your audit plan over time, probably reviewing it, let's say once in a quarter or something, and moving towards that and looking at it from a different angle, not from a control deficiency term, because that is the term which auditors are using. This is the control deficiency is typically audit speak. Can we look at it from what it will cost the business and tell them that? Probably they will think about it from a different angle. Let us start reporting in weeks. Let us adopt a way of modern technologies like agile auditing. Don't report after 5 months what you did 3 months ago. Report it in weeks. See, if something is stale, if you are listening about a stock market information which has come probably of last year, today, is it of any use to you? It becomes stale, right? It is not adding any value to you. So same way, you need to give information on a regular basis, on a more frequent basis, on a timely basis. Lead with the risk. Idea is that you have to be putting yourself in the digital shoes of moving towards agile auditing. Then collaborate. See, auditor is a lonely function. Okay, when you are an auditor, you don't have any friends. You cannot become friends, obviously, because it will interact and it will hamper your independence. Okay, it will not allow you to partner with people. The minute you say you are friends with somebody, they'll say your independence is impaired. Don't do that, but don't become a policeman. Don't become an island. You collaborate, you become a business partner and give them that insight and foresight, which will help them to bring the business to a better place. And if you are not able to do everything, of course, one person doesn't know everything. I always say this, everybody doesn't know everything and nobody knows, everybody knows something and nobody knows everything. Sorry, everybody knows something, but nobody knows everything. This is what it is. So you cannot know everything. So bring in specialists, bring in people who know it. Use their references, use their expertise. Do things in your own way, but do it in a better way so that the business also doesn't, they feel that you are only doing it from an auditor's angle. You are part of them. You have to become one of them without being, without impairing your independence. It's a very thin line to do, but you will have to still work towards that. It has to be a collaborative business partner kind of a approach. All right, let's go to the next slide, please. So let's look at it from different teams. One team does everything status quo, 47-page reports, quarterly reports, quarterly status meetings, a report which was generated or created, or the plan which was created in January, February, and then the report is generated probably in June, and the action is taken in October, September, talking about risks which were there in January. The board typically will say, fine, good to know, but what is current? Why are we talking about things which are already gone? The recent or the team B is the one which we want to be. Okay. Here we have a live dashboard, we have a dynamic plan, we have flagged supply chain risks in March. We started in January, probably we have done it in March. So we have covered timing, language, foresight, credibility, all of those things are there. And that's what the board expects from us. And that is what surprising the board looks like. I asked a rhetorical question at the beginning of the presentation, right? So what does surprising the board look like? That is what the board wants. And this is my anticipation of what the board will expect from us going forward in the age of disruption that we live in, where every minute, every second, something or the other keeps changing, and we are moving towards changes as and when we speak. As we speak, there are changes happening. Yesterday, Trump has given a big announcement about something which he's going to do. We don't know where it's going to land, what's going to happen. But are we gearing towards that? Where are we in terms of moving towards at least securing ourselves to the next level? Okay. And right, I have spoken about all of these things. Now I'm not going to just put you away in the cold. I'm going to give you a 90-day plan. Okay. So let's move to the next slide, please. And the next, please, if you can. Yeah, this is the 90. Yeah, just before. Yeah, so this is the 90-day plan, 3 phases, 9 actions. You can pick one from any of these things and start working on it. Okay. So the first 30 days you diagnose. You start doing workshops within your team first, probably what risks are there in your plan, which are not there in your plan. You audit yourself. You audit your own audit plan honestly, considering whatever is happening in the world. Are we reflecting any of those which are going to be impacting us, or probably which has already impacted us? Are we looking towards that? Let's be honest. Let us look in the mirror. The first person we look in the mirror in the beginning of the day is ourselves, right? That's what we do. That is what we as auditors should do to ourselves. We should look at ourselves in the mirror and see where we are. Find one analytical aspect of it, a quick win, which you can show. First you should know for yourself what are you looking at, a pilot run, and then you present it to the board. Probably that's going to take about 30 days of your time. The next 30 days you build. So from diagnose phase, we move to the build phase. This is where we do the pilot, we do the dashboard. Again, it is an evolving thing. It cannot happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. You will not be perfect. Believe me, it will be built over many weeks. But start somewhere. Rewrite one audit report in plain language. I know many audit departments who use audit tools, AI tools, and they write the report. It's not in readable language. Sorry to say this. It's in very high language. You need to have a PhD just to read the audit report. It should be in simple terms, in plain language, which anybody can understand from a common man's point of view, probably from business point of view, if you can bring it to that level and have that impact which is going to come to the business because they did not take an action or they have not acted about something. Just start doing from there. You start and see where you go. Next, you move towards your audit committee and you tell them one risk which is happening and how they can ask the question to themselves or how they are looking at it, what is their opinion about it, what is their viewpoint. And then the last 30 days, probably in the 90-day calendar of yours, is to lead. This is where my showpiece titular internal audit leading the age of disruption starts. Not in the first day, but on the 61st day. Present forward-looking risk review. I mean, you have to present that risk view, which is there, which is more of what is going to happen, what is essential, what is obligatory, and where we are moving towards that. Don't talk about only what went wrong. We are not there to present. Yeah, see, we are like, in a way, we are like doctors. Okay, we give a report based on what we saw, the symptoms, but we also have to foresee what can happen if the symptoms persist, right? What will happen in the long run? What could happen based on what things are going on in our own life? Okay, so this is what we as auditors have to lead from the front, present and propose dynamic risk assessments, not only to the chief audit executive, also to the board, and ask the question to ourselves, are we something which the board sees as essential, or are we just a cardboard box or a cardboard tool which is lying there and people are just looking at it? It should be just a placeholder which is supposed to be there in the function in the company, and they're just giving their reports. And are we doing that? Or are we really getting that seat at the table and becoming that person, that leader truly which we are born to be as internal auditors? We are all born to be that. We have it in ourselves with that 360-degree power that we are having, superpower. We are all not wearing capes. We are wearing business suits, but we are supermen in our own ways. But are we exercising that power? I conclude with that last slide, where I'm not saying that disruption is a threat. I strongly believe it is our moment. It is the auditor's single most important moment. We have the chance to anticipate, elevate, and lead. Right? So thank you everyone for attending it. What is pushing you back? What is it that is holding you back is something which I really love to hear from you all. Here for all any questions which you might have. I hope you, this is again, as I told you, this is not a classroom. This is just to give you a perspective about where we are and who we really want to be. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves where we want to move. And how do we want to move is something, again, I've given you a short plan, 90-day plan. You can baby steps you can take to move towards that. And, that's where we all want to become. So thanks you once again. I know it's a Saturday morning. It's the Eid weekend. Some of you might have been having plans. So thank you all for coming. If you all have any questions or anything to add on, please do add on.
Right, Chidambaram. So we have 10 minutes, little more than 10 minutes to go. So I invite anyone who has questions or any comments to please unmute yourself. Gopalji, you have any comments?
Yes, sir. As you had said in the beginning itself that he will keep us totally engaged throughout the session. It was indeed true, but it's really sad that it got over in half an hour's time, effectively, what he conveyed to us. I was thinking for at least it will go for 40-45 minutes, but it got over in less than around 30-35 minutes time. And I know him personally.
It's a vast subject, Gopal. It's a vast subject. We can keep going.
Yeah,
I can keep talking about what we are getting impacted by, but then how are we going to move about it is something you all should come back with. I mean, how are you tackling this situation?
But as an executive summary, you just completed very briefly. And the most touching aspect was you had actually concentrated on feed-forward controls rather than back-ended controls. The back-ended controls were the things of the past, but in the age of AI and digital transformation, feed-forward controls and keeping a watch as what is going to happen in the near future and anticipating the risk and threats will definitely help us to migrate much more smoothly, and it may not be a threat at all. We can easily overcome it. That was the gist as to what you had actually conveyed to us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gopal. I request, I see many internal audit professionals also here. And if anyone can unmute and share your perspective, because we are fortunate to have, we have 10 minutes. So Jignesh, yeah, Jignesh, please go ahead, Jignesh.
Yeah, my perspective, I mean, I could see the slides right from beginning, and those are quite informative. And definitely, this is something which we should look forward towards, like, moving the futuristic approach, what we should be taking in the upcoming days. But then the only thing is, for small firms or mid-sized firms, the budgets and getting the right skill sets of staff who are capable of handling AI tools or knowing the basics of it in this part of the world, especially in Oman, is a bit of a challenge. Because I was myself with JP Morgan Chase prior to this, and we used to have Alteryx and Tableau over there. And each of these softwares, the AI tools, the platforms which were being used were around $1,500 per user. JP Morgan had around 200 plus internal auditors in Mumbai itself. So what I'm trying to say is they had the bandwidth of spending that much of an amount, and the budgets were available with them because of the size being a largest investment bank. But then when it comes to a small firm, if I ask my managing partner to spend 1,500 per user per annum, that's a big no basically, which might come, because
Okay.
the other challenge is, as a internal audit team or as an internal auditor, what I foresee the challenges in Oman, especially I'm talking about Oman because this is the country where I'm right now servicing to the clients. The number of SAOG clients are the ones who are mandated by the regulators to have internal auditors. Either it can be in-house if it is more than 10 million, or they can outsource if it's less than 10 million share capital. Now, the level of seriousness which I see in the clients is not that great to what you see in the Western countries or even in India. The other thing is the number of SAOG companies are shrinking. The number of firms which are getting registered with FSA is also multiplying now. So the share of the pie which was being taken away earlier by few firms now is distributed amongst more number of firms, and the size of the pie is shrinking. So then you have to kill the market by quoting fee which is not at times realistic. What I'm trying to say now, gradually SAOC, which is closed joint stock companies, are also mandated by the rules here locally, but the level of seriousness is not that great even now at this
Yeah.
stage.
Thank you, Jignesh. Thank you. So we'll move ahead, Jignesh. We are fortunate to have Hitesh here. Hitesh, can you please unmute yourself and share what you wish to share? Yeah.
Hi, Prab. Hi, Chidambaram.
Yeah. Right.
Chidambaram, question to you. With the age of this AI automation, right, and a lot of financials being made or reviewed using Claude or automation tools like N8N, how are you as an internal auditor making sure that data secrecy or data privacy controls are adhered to? Also, what kind of upskilling you are doing to your department, for them to tackle these future coming issues?
Okay, thank you so much. It's a really valid question when it's happening probably across the world. So first, as an auditor, you cannot govern a lot of things. You will have to have an overarching organizational policy, first of all. So the organization policy should clearly lay out what can be used for what reason and how. Probably a data loss prevention policy has to be there first. The DLP tool has to be implemented organization wide, and you will have to monitor what people are putting on. You cannot do it when you are doing it on a private personal device. You cannot govern that. Obviously, you can govern only within a certain radius within your own organizational laptops or servers or whatnot, and when people are using official IDs, that's the best you can do. You can have an awareness training with people, and this is what we do. At least in our organization we have had, and I'm sure that is being followed by many organizations, that they first have a policy which says what all can be uploaded or what an AI tool can be used for and cannot be used for. There may be a case when you are creating an LLM for your own company, which works with your own organizational data within the organizational, radius and parameters, and that can be something which you can govern internally. That's again something you can look at. But if you look at it from an overall point of view, anybody is out, it's out there. You cannot stop somebody from using AI or Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or any type of tool using their personal devices. That's something which is no. The only thing you can do is govern them through an organizational policy and keep awareness training, keep a penalty clause probably. If something goes wrong, they're personally liable or something, or have something like data sharing policy, right? Data prevention
Yep, makes
tools.
sense.
That's
Makes
all
sense.
that I can think of.
Okay.
I hope that
Thank you.
answers you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you
Thank you.
again.
So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vikaruddin, for joining during the Eid break, and Eid Mubarak to you. And can you please unmute yourself, Vikaruddin, and share your thoughts? Yeah.
Hi, Prab. Hi, Chidambaram. Excellent
Yeah.
session. I think very important that Chidambaram shared is the insights of internal audit, because, as he rightly put out, that internal audit is a very vast domain and the need of the hour, because you have to be on top of the game. One thing I'd like Chidambaram to highlight is the lack of awareness that internal audit is a multi-skill job. It requires auditors to be sharp, not only in the financial sector, not only in the IT sector, but generally on a sharpness that requires to be seeing the overarching picture. So if Chidambaram can give insight, because we are trying to hire people for internal audit, and I see, a lot of lacking abilities of individuals who are chartered accountants, but not able to see the bigger picture. So how important, if Chidambaram can highlight, is upskilling not only in the IT sector, not only in the financial sector, but just getting an overall picture of the environment that we're currently operating in and understanding the core principles of the business. That is the need of the hour in order to us to be in a position to be understanding the disruption in the business and also coming to a solution and mitigating the problems that will be coming through the disruption. If that can be highlighted, that will be important. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, see, you rightly highlighted the, see, internal auditor, as I always say, is an MBA in one. Okay. He wears an MBA cap. You can get an MBA by becoming an internal auditor. You get a 360-degree view of the entire organization, right from the hiring, the way things work, the processes, business cycles, P2P, R2R, hiring to retire, and so on. Everything, you get to know a lot of things as an auditor. But having said that, do all internal auditors do that? No. You need to have a few personality traits also. You need to have a curiosity. That curiosity should be for the right things. You should not be curiosity having for gossip and all those other things. You should be having that curiosity cap to understand where the business is working towards, what is the strategy which you are looking at, what is the vision, mission statement, and where we are towards that. That's one aspect. The second aspect is, of course, on the financial. So most of the auditors come from a financial background. They are chartered accountants, they may be MBAs, they may be ACCAs, and they get into the internal audit domain. So when they get into that space, it again is not unidimensional, it is multidimensional. You need to acquire a lot of other skills. You need to be able to ask the right questions to the right people, right? You cannot ask a CEO a simple question about something which is happening lower down the operational matters. You may be asking from a strategic point of view. So again, as you interact with different type of people also, you need to understand what kind of questions you need to ask and what kind of response that you get. You need to, imbibe that and become something, like I told you, it's like you're a strategic partner with the business. You cannot just be a person who is just giving a report and walking away. That's not who we are. So again, from that perspective, we need to take that into our consideration. We need to
So,
understand.
what could be the skills that we're looking at internal audit from an internal audit point of view?
See, the ability to understand, the ability to have insights, the ability to have foresights. Ultimately, that comes with wisdom over a period of time. So you need to keep acquiring, of course, IT skills, of course, financial knowledge, of course, business knowledge is very important, because if you don't understand what the business is doing and where they are moving towards, and if you don't understand the objective of the business itself and where they are making money, where they're losing money, all of those things we need to know. See, the auditor is the right person, the chief audit executive is probably the most qualified person to become a CEO at some point in time. So you have to think from that perspective, from a strategic, from a financial, from an operational, from a technological perspective, from a risk perspective as well. Put all of those things together. It's not one single person. An internal auditor is multiple people rolled into one. So the skill set again will vary. You obviously should have the basic skill set, which is financial knowledge, the business awareness, business gathering of what they're doing, and moving to applying both of those things, marrying all of those things together to move towards the person who you want to be, which is ultimately the strategic partner. And I would say, as I always say, probably you will also agree with me, I'm sure, that the CAE or the chief auditor is the right person to become, somebody like the CEO of a company.
Thank you. Thank you, Chidambaram. Vikardin, I hope your question has been answered.
Yep,
Thanks.
sure, thanks.
So, Sai, can you please unmute yourself and go ahead with your question? Sai Madhav, if you're here. Yeah, Sai, please.
Yeah, thanks for the wonderful session. It's really insightful. Just one question from my side. So you covered ESG aspect as well, right, in the session. So
Yeah.
like, let's say for the IT audit, we have CISA, and for internal audit, we have CAA or CA. For ESG, what are the learning opportunities available? Because it's quite new, right? So just want to know how can we, upskill ourselves in ESG domain.
I have to come back to you on this. I myself have to upskill myself first. So I will get back to you on this for sure. First is, regardless of whatever I'm saying, the idea behind that is that to first understand what are the compliance requirements in your region, wherever you are today. If you are in India, what are the requirements from a regional point of view, from an Indian point perspective? That is where I would start, regardless of whether there's a certification for it or not. Ultimately, that is where I would start. If I live in a Gulf region, what are the relevant statutory laws, regulations applicable for me, for my organization in the regions in which it operates? And go from there. I mean, you don't have to have a certification necessarily just to become an auditor or move to an ESG space.
Yeah, thank you. I can add a point, Sai. You can look at IFRS Foundation has a couple of courses available on their e-learning platform with regard to the sustainability standards. Because sustainability standards board is there, and then as Chidambaram said, that apart from the global standards or global regulations, locally as it's evolving regulatory environment, so depending upon how the things are moving, should be aware or there are so many tools to pick the knowledge and update on it. So whether there is any certification locally available or not, knowledge can be shared by reading the regulations and by reports where they may have been analyzed. Yeah. So we move on to the last question of the day. Venkatesh, can you please unmute yourself? Yeah, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Very, very nice session, Mr. Chidambaram, and thanks for organizing CA Prab.
Thank you.
I have only one point, like I have handled the roles of both being a business CFO as well as heading the internal audit and compliance team. So my single point is, it is more of an opinion from your esteemed experience. There are two very important things that happens in a business. One is the annual business plan, what we make, which tells which the organization goes in which direction. And the most fundamental thing is an organization's risk register. So all I want to get your opinion is, do you feel these two documents should be shared between the CFO and the chief audit executive? And should that be the plan, like you said about the first 30 days of planning, what needs to be done? So can these two be part of the fundamental study so that a clear audit plan is cut out for the year? Just a simple opinion, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. Now, should documents be shared? That is again an internal thing. You can always, there is no harm in sharing documents, okay? As long as there is nothing confidential in that, it should be relevant to what the discussion is going to be all about, because you're not going to be competing with each other. You're going to be working with each other. It should be collaborative. Between the CFO and the CAE, if you are not going to talk to each other and you're going to just pass comments, sorry, that's not how it works. The business works together. So yes, that will be a fundamental document. Again, the risk register, as you rightly said, is not done by only the auditor. It is an organizational document, right? It cannot be created just by the internal audit department. It should not be created by internal audit department. It can be moderated by them. It can be collated by them. It can be collaborated with other divisional aspects, operational, strategic, and everything, put together and maintained by the internal audit department, but it should never be only done by internal audit department, because they will look at it only from their perspective, from a risk and control perspective, from what they are seeing. There will always be another viewpoint, another thing which they may not have seen. Of course, all auditors are ultimately humans. So again, it works together. This risk register is a live document, which is a dynamic document, which all of us will put our heads together from an organization's point of view, overall, from IT perspective, from a finance perspective, HR perspective, from business development perspective, from the CEO's desk. Everybody will put their thoughts and make this as one massive document which will tell us where we are headed towards and what are the risks which we are foreseeing for ourselves, how we can tackle them. And that will be probably a starting point. From there, we derive what are the most high priority risks which we have to deal with, and what are the things which we have in our capacity to work towards, and what are the things for which we don't have any current wherewithals, like Jignesh was telling about the budget constraints and all that. So probably those are the areas which we don't have access to, or we don't have the capacity or the expertise in. So where do we go from there? Do we bring in more experts from outside? Do we hire consultants? Or can we take somebody on board only as a project? Again, those are questions which we should ask ourselves as an organization. So yes, sharing is not an issue. Sharing is caring. Don't do things in silos, please. So risk register should be a common document, is always an organizational live document. So that is probably where I would start my entire exercise with.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before I invite Chidambaram for his final thoughts, we had a very engaging session, and thank you, Chidambaram, for that. And one thing which comes up is that we need to be proactive in anything we are doing. And I was recently reading an example of how, internal audit is not something which is done after 3 months. It has to be live for many of the instances, and that's where the disruption fits in. And with regard to the challenges what Vikarudin highlighted on the skills, there's something where may be possible that sometimes we professionals have become very shallow, or we aren't putting significant efforts to know what we should know, where our expertise, which has to be very significant, where we are continuously learning. It may be possible that the continuous learning definition has degraded, where the learning is done from a very high level point side, when it has to be very significant, very deep, considering that we have tools available on our hand, and we feel like the knowledge which is of others is the actual knowledge of ours, but that is not the reality. So therefore, the skills, whether it be being strong in your subject, and having a critical thinking skills, having a business acumen, the leadership skills, the communication skills, everything, whichever field we are. So apart from the 50% of the taking the technical part, which has to be very deep, and the another remaining 50% on all these remaining skills of the leadership, communication, critical thinking, analytical, everything is required by everyone. So therefore, I would urge, considering this point which has come to all the young professionals, to put significant efforts on continuously learning. and continuously evolving, being being relevant. And even though you may have to reach to a higher pedestal where you may not have to put a significant uh, work into the deep things, but you should always work harder on that. So, Chidambaram, thank you so much. Your last thoughts before we close for the day. Yeah, your final remarks. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for coming. First of all, thank you, Prabhdeep. You are doing a brilliant job at maintaining this forum every week. Somebody or the other elite speakers have come. I had Bharat Jeswani the other day. We have had more, I mean, many more really renowned speakers who have come. I really thank you for the opportunity once again. And thank you everyone for coming in. The idea behind, again, Jignesh, I'm just seeing the session chat remarks. This is basically food for thought. It is not the end of the day. We are just beginning here. This is the starting point. Don't think of this as your destination. Of course, it will be scary. There are a lot of things which are coming towards us. Probably more things are coming. There is no end to this. But as Prabhdeep correctly said, we need to keep learning. The continuous learning is the only way to equip ourselves to have not only a skill set which goes for Gen Z, can catch up fast. We are getting old. So we need to catch up even more faster. We need to spend more time to learn. We need to keep upgrading ourselves every single day in some way or the other. Small things, baby steps, but keep moving. Any progress is good progress. Even if you are able to do one thing of what I told today, I'll be really happy because that I would have achieved something from my objective of the day. That's the whole point of having the presentation and giving you all this viewpoint, more of a conversation. And we had a lot of interaction. I'm really happy about that as well. So thank you once again for coming in on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you.
Great rest of the
Thank you. Thank you, Chidambaram. A big, big round of applause. Please keep showing your love and emojis. And we will be back next Saturday at 11 a.m., the 6th of June, with a session on the compliance for which deadline in UAE is there for June 30th. So please do come back on the next Saturday, and we look forward to have you again. Have a great Saturday ahead. Great evening. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Thank you, Chidambaram.